Fallout has become massively popular again recently due to the new TV show, but how does Fallout 4 hold up in 2024? Is it worth playing? This video might surprise you. As you might know, on this channel, I give my honest opinions, so I won't just agree with Fallout fans to prevent hate comments if I truly believe the game sucks dog cock. So let's now find out whether Fallout 4 is worth your time or not. The bugs. We have to address this first. We've all heard about how bug infested this game was back in the day. Bit like old Starfield. But after not playing it for years, I did kind of feel like perhaps we overreacted about how buggy this game was. Well, sadly, within an hour or less, I was proven very wrong.
Random NPCs falling out of the sky. Settlers deciding to stand on each other's heads. Entire world unloading when you walk into a model without any collision. Getting a little too much inside Kate's head.
But you're different.
This game is still riddled with bugs and issues which can be game breaking at times. For example, I encountered the weirdest bug ever, where I would jump in the air and get this blinding white screen bright enough to put your nan into another coma, and characters getting stuck in damn doorways so you cannot move. Get out the way! Or even invisible objects that you fall bastard through and look like a right knobhead. The good news is, the weird white screen that put my nan into a coma is only for PC users, and seems to be because I was playing the game at 144 Hz, which is kind of odd. And from what I've seen online, this game will be more stable on console, but just be aware that this game is still filled with bugs. But does the rest of the game make it bearable? Graphics and setting. So if you didn't know, Fallout 4 is an open world game set in a dangerous nuclear wasteland filled with dodgy as hell creatures caused by the radiation and multiple factions trying to run the place. When it first released, people complained about how the graphics were a bit of a letdown at the time, especially when graphics were evolving so quickly. But playing it again now, at least on PC, it really doesn't look too bad. At times, it actually looks impressive. Don't get me wrong, the character models do look dog, and textures also look low res to hell at times. But if you are a bit of a tart like me and care about graphics, you won't have an issue with playing this in 2024. As for the setting, the map will feel small by today's standards, and using this map still makes me want to down the nearest bottle of bleach. But the atmosphere of the open world still feels dangerous and unsettling, although the lack of buildings to enter does kinda suck. The open world as a whole though still very much holds up and looks decent visually, with endless things to do. It never feels lifeless or soulless, despite there being very little NPCs around the map at times, which of course should be the case considering this is supposed to be a wasteland filled with knob jockeys and deformed bellends. Gameplay. This is where things get interesting. Let's first talk about gunplay and combat. Back in the day, it was an improvement when compared to previous Fallout games, and seemed to be one of the few gameplay mechanics they actually worked on. Playing it now, the gunplay feels a bit clunky, but not awful, and the same goes for hand-to-hand combat. Yes, it does feel dated, but it's not unplayable, and I got used to it very quickly. Killing the gigantic deformed creatures in the open world is still satisfying, and still scares the piss out of me at times, as they seem to come out of nowhere, and giving Codsworth the occasional twat, or power slamming Mama Murphy is still entertaining as hell for some reason. Exploring the map, fighting factions, or joining them in the nuclear wasteland is still enjoyable, but where things do really look clunky and dated is the character movement, or the lack of. Jesus, I can't even jump over a fence that is shorter than dog meat's cock, and the jetpack animations on the T60 look utter shit piss. Oh, Jesus Christ. But other than that, getting into the T60 suit and using it still feels badass and very enjoyable. Although the player movement feels dated, especially in the T60 suit, regardless, even now, it's satisfying as hell entering the suit and absolutely ruining some deformed creature's life. And I don't mean your mum. Don't get me wrong, I do expect some of the gameplay mechanics to feel dated now. And to its credit, it never felt so awful that it was unplayable. The game still pulled me in real quick and got me playing for hours due to the endless things to do and the engaging story. Let's talk about that next. The story. Regardless of what most people say, I personally think Fallout 4 has the best story of the Fallout series. It's not perfect, but even in 2024, it reeled me in and I was instantly engaged with it, unlike other Bethesda titles like Starfield that make you do the same mission about 20 times. If you enjoyed the TV show, you will absolutely love the story and learning more about the incredible lore in Fallout. And without spoiling anything, it starts out very similar to the TV show, and you do experience the bombs going off whilst blaring it to the vault for shelter. The rest of the game is set in the nuclear wasteland caused by the bombings. Unlike most games released now, it just feels like a complete game with so many things to do, which is guaranteed to keep you entertained for hours. But this can be dangerous if you get easily addicted to playing a game for too long, like I do. The multiple choice system when speaking to characters is still entertaining and engaging. I don't know why, but I still get a kick out of being a right knob to some of the characters. I basically just love abusing Mama Murphy, bullying her to an early grave, the ugly old bin. The multiple choice dialogue just really helps with expanding the world building aspect and lore of Fallout. For me, I was able to overlook the data gameplay mechanics and bugs purely due to the immense amount of content and things to do in this game. That is one huge important factor that doesn't feel dated, and in fact seems to be a rarity these days. A fully complete and engaging story game with no microtransactions that will take anywhere between 30 to 100 hours to complete without doing the exact same mission over and over. It's just bloody incredible, and is one of the biggest things that surprised me. So should you play Fallout 4 in 2024? If you were a fan of the TV show or wanted to play this game back in 2015 but never got the chance, despite its clunky game mechanics and annoying bugs, out of all the Fallout games, Fallout 4 is the one to play. Although it's definitely not the best one in the franchise, it's the game that feels less clunky and dated in 2024 out of the bunch. Ideally, you would want to play Fallout 4 on PC, get it proper cheap and install mods to improve graphics and reduce bugs to get the absolute best experience possible. However, you can still play this on console if you don't own a PC, as modding support is available on console too. You just won't have as many to choose from. This game is really cheap, so you definitely have to give it a go in 2024. And let me know what you think in the comment section down below. And also, what was your favourite Fallout game? Just imagine if Fallout 5 does get released one day on current gen. I mean, Jesus, it's going to be amazing, as long as it doesn't end up like Starfield. Speaking of Starfield, if you would like to see whether that game has improved 6 months since release, this is my 100% honest opinion with no BS, make sure to click the card on screen. You do not want to miss that video. Thank you guys for watching as always, I really appreciate it, and have a great rest of your day.